So having gone through the numbers, let's get into my personal and professional opinion. Why do I think townhomes are better options for most people in terms of end users and especially first-time home buyers? We'll take a look at, in today's video, we look at townhomes as compared to semi-detached, and in my opinion, why townhomes for most buyers, especially first-time home buyers, might be better options than semi-detached. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. You can find my contact information in the description box with regards to my Gmail, my Instagram, and my office. Feel free to get in touch with me with any questions you might have that may arise from this video or any other topics covered in previous videos, or if you have any general inquiries with regards to the Toronto/GTA real estate market. Lastly, before we get into the main point of today's video, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review if you happen to enjoy my video. If not, feel free not to subscribe, not to comment, but if you want to show your support, that would be one way to show your support as well, with a subscription and a like. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get to the point of today's video, which is some semi-detached numbers versus some townhome numbers. Now, in my previous video, when I went through the TREP resale market report for August of 2021, feel free to go watch that video for all kinds of numbers and further analysis of trends and general real estate market update. One point I made in that video while going through the semi-detached and townhome numbers in the freehold portion of the video, I made a note that I also made in the previous edition as well for the month of July, which is townhomes are starting to outpace semi-detached properties in terms of value appreciation. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, in terms of price point, semi-detached properties, whether you're looking in the city of Toronto, York region, Mississauga, Durham, wherever within the GTA, obviously, at the end of the day, semi-detached properties are still more expensive than townhomes. However, in terms of appreciation and what I see in everyday real estate as a real estate agent when I work with buyers and sellers, and what I see with regards to the numbers in terms of both appreciation and demand, townhomes seem to be outpacing semi-detached properties. So first, let's go through the numbers, and as always, you can jump around this video. The timestamps are probably in the comments and also in the description. You can find the timestamps in the bar below. So anyways, let's start with the numbers, shall we? When we look at just August of 2021 in terms of the most recent month we have in complete sales data, for semi-detached properties, we see an average sold price $1,031,000, which is year over year up 13% from the average sold price. Once again, this is year over year of $900,000, more specifically $905,000. So off the bat, we see, yes, semis have appreciated 13%. Once again, going from $905,000 to $1,031,000 year over year. And the same thing holds true when we look at the month over month analysis. And the month over month analysis shows us a very, very, very negligible, small, almost inconsequential, quite inconsequential appreciation of 0.35%, going from $1,027,000 in July of 2021 to $1,031,000, as once again aforementioned. So practically pretty much inconsequential, but technically an appreciation and an increase in average price. And these are numbers for all over the GTA, right? So all the semi-detached sales get accounted for anywhere from west of Mississauga to east of Durham to all the way north in King City and anywhere in between. However, in both instances, the appreciation of townhomes greatly outpaced that of semi-detached properties. So let's look at the townhome numbers in the same exact way we looked at semi-detached properties just now. In August of 2021, with regards to the GTA real estate market and Toronto real estate market, the average sold price of a townhome across all townhome types, so this is accounting for 3-story, 2-story, stacked, and otherwise. So across all property types, across all regions, the average sold price was $873,000, which represented a 17% increase year over year from the previous year's August numbers, which the average price came in at $742,000. And when we took a look at month over month, we saw a 2.8% increase in that regard. So comparing it to July of 2021, with the average sold price of $849 in the previous month. So much like the semi-detached, went both year over year and month over month, they were both up. But as you can see from the percentage points, not in terms of the actual sold prices, because at the end of the day, obviously semis are selling a little bit more, much more in certain areas, but in terms of percentage year over year and month over month appreciation, townhomes have outpaced semi-detached. And with regards to year over year, townhomes were up 17.7. So let's just say 17% to be conservative. And year over year, semi-detached was up 13%. And month over month, semi-detached were almost not up. I mean, 0.35%, very small amount. While townhomes, it's not as if they exploded, but they were up 2.85%. Now, even if we expand the scope to a 1 year value change, and a 5-year value change. So taking a look at 1 calendar year full of sales data and then 5 years full of sold data. Let's start with the 1 year. We see, once again, townhomes have outpaced semi-detached. Wherein with regards to the 1 year full of value change in terms of sales data, we see townhomes are up 20% and semi-detached are up 17%. And then when we expand this to 5 years, so 5 years of sale data in terms of value change, we see here townhomes are not higher than semi-detached, but they're almost there. Where in semi-detached, in terms of the 5-year view, we see an increase in appreciation of 56%, while townhomes come in at a appreciation and a value increase of 54%. So in most views, townhomes are outpacing semi-detached. And in the case of the 5-year view, where semi-detached are still appreciating higher than townhomes, it's only by a negligible marginal amount, which is only by 2 percentage points, which isn't nothing, but at the same time. And once again, with regards to these numbers, we're looking at all townhome types. So that goes from 3-story townhomes to stacked townhomes, where you have the lower unit and the higher unit, right? And then just typical most normal townhomes, which is 2-story townhomes, right? And I would venture to say that if we were to remove all the sales of the stacked townhomes and just look at the 2 most desirable townhome types, which are the 3-story and the 2-story, we would actually even see a higher average sold and a higher appreciation amount. And then let's move on to the number of transactions. So those are just sales prices. The number of transactions is a different category, just the number of sales, not the sale price. In that same video, I made a point to mention that all sales are down with the exception of condominiums. So meaning all the other property types that remain, the main categories, obviously detached, semi-detached, and townhomes. Those 3 all as a category were down year over year and month over month. However, of those 3 that were down, the one that was down the least was townhomes. So having gone through the numbers, let's get into my personal and professional opinion. Why do I think townhomes are better options for most people in terms of end users and especially first-time home buyers? Well, take a look at it like this. The limitations and restrictions of townhomes are much like the limitation and restrictions that come with semi-detached. So in terms of the pros and cons, for one, both instances, you don't get much lot value because your lot value, you're attached to another structure. So for instance, let's say you have a semi-detached but has a beautiful large frontage, right? Obviously, builders are less likely to be attracted to the large lot that they can potentially buy and tear down the structure and get it divided and build 2-story properties, right? Which builders love to do with bungalows, because bungalows are built upon large lots. Given the horizontal nature of bungalows, they require large lots, and a lot of builders buy those lots, they tear down the structure. Now they have this huge lot where they can either build one gigantic 2-story property or divide the lot and build 2 medium to small size 2-story detached properties, which in both instances brings them out a lot of return. But the fact is, a bungalow is detached, and that's why the lot is very key. With semi-detached properties and townhomes, no matter how big or small your lot is, it's not going to really be that important, because when you want to sell it, you can't really sell it to a builder unless, in the case of semi-detached, the builder also purchases the adjoining property as well. both your property and then the property that's next to you that is attached to your property. That way, yes, they do get their lot value, but that is a much more difficult sale. So I'm not gonna go far as to say the lot is meaningless, but clearly with both townhomes and semis, the lot is devalued a lot more given the attached nature of the property. So that's one con. Another con is that major revitalization and renovations, especially to the exterior of the property, is very difficult, in some cases impossible. That in certain cases makes revitalization and renovations at a major scale, both interior but especially exterior, that makes it very difficult, and in some cases with townhomes impossible. And then in terms of the basic end user experience, you're obviously surrounded on both sides. With townhomes, you know, you have a neighbor to your right, a neighbor to your left, and then with regards to semi-detached properties, you have a neighbor to your left or your right, and once again, the privacy issue could become a problem. This is where the lot size actually isn't fully meaningless, because if you have a larger lot size townhome, obviously you have a little bit more privacy, whereas if it's a very narrow townhome, you have far less privacy. Same thing with regards to semi-detached. But ultimately, you cannot match the privacy of a detached property, right? Regardless of how large your lot is. So you might say, well, Sam, these are cons that are shared by both townhomes and semis. Why is a townhome better? Well, because although yes, the cons are both shared, and in certain cases the cons are a little bit worse with townhomes. Townhomes, as you can see from the numbers that are represented and presented to you, are far cheaper. And in certain instances, they give you the same lifestyle and end user experience as semi-detached properties. Why buy a semi-detached property wherein you are paying a premium for the semi-detached nature, where you can get pretty much the same thing, 95% of the end user experience, especially as a first-time home buyer, but for a far more cheaper price tag? And once again, from an investor perspective, your purchase wouldn't be in bad taste, because what has happened within the GTA real estate market, and this is a fact about most commodities and most goods, especially heterogeneous goods, wherein when you have 4 categories of the same good and the highest price category prices out certain buyers and the demand shifts to the 3rd category. And when they're priced out, the demand shifts to the 2nd and the 1st. So with real estate, we have detached, semi-detached, townhomes and condos. What we have seen is typically when a buyer is priced out of the detached market, they go towards the semi. And when they're priced out of the semi, they go towards the townhome, and townhome to condo, so on and so forth. Everything else being equal. Obviously, in real life practice, it's never this clean, but according to micro and macroeconomics, this is what typically happens. However, what I've seen is the shift of demand from detached to semi to townhome to condos hasn't been occurring in that clean of a fashion. What I've been seeing is a large segment of the buyers involved with the market are skipping the semis entirely, going towards townhomes, and then from townhomes to condos. So clearly the demand is there, and part of the reason is because the quantity supplied is ample. You have way more townhomes in the market, because given the nature of townhomes, and developers are developing more townhomes than they are semis nowadays. So you have way more semis in terms of quantity supplied from the inventory side of things, and you have ample demand to match it. And as I covered, both in terms of end user experience and investor, due to the appreciation that started to outpace when compared to semis, in both regards, I think as a first time or a novice home buyer, if you go purchase a well-researched, expertly picked, well-built townhome, you're better off, both in terms of how it impacts your pocket and in terms of appreciation. Need not be worried, because as we are seeing from the numbers, they have been appreciating well, and I see more buyer demand heading in that direction, with the quantity supplied increasing in terms of inventory. Anyways, that's Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty. As always, thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have any further questions or what your opinions are on this video, and feel free to get in touch with me with regards to my contact information, with regards to my Gmail, my Instagram, and my office, and also my TikTok as well. I have a TikTok now. We'll see if I update that. But feel free to find me on the socials in the description and get in touch with me. And lastly, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay tuned, and see you later. Thank you.